Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center, man. If you have clicked on this video because of New York Jets news, then you're on the right channel. So I decided I want to make a brief video on this and kind of just touch on this. So I've seen that this was trending. It was going around in the sports world yesterday. We seen that Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson had they had words for each other. Now here's the thing, right? I'm not obviously, so I didn't make it to the NFL, but I did play football at the high school level, and I attempted to play the college level. Things didn't work out, but that's neither here nor there. But what I'm just trying to get you guys to understand is that debates within the team happens. You know what I mean? And it's not nothing that you should just be like, it's throwing off the chemistry or Aaron Rodgers coming in, because you got to think about it like this, right? So I'm gonna make a separate video about this. So if you guys are familiar with what's going on in the sports world right now, especially if you're a New York Jets fans, and if you clicked on this video, I'm assuming that you're probably a New York Jets fan, right? So it was one of the players, the defensive player from the Jets, who made a comment and saying that Aaron Rodgers has similarities to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, right? And you had a lot of people that went up in an uproar about that comment. And here's the thing, so like I said, that's gonna be, I can't get too far in that, but this is what I'm saying, right? When the comment was made, when you're dealing with Aaron Rodgers, when you're dealing with Tom Brady, when you're dealing with Peyton Manning, when you're dealing with Michael Jordan, when you're dealing with Kobe Bryant, when you're dealing with all these magnificent players that has reached the pinnacle of their sport and that played at this high level up until the time that they retired, they expect perfection from themselves. So they're conscious enough to know that, okay, in order for us to win as a team, I can't be the only person expecting perfection. I have to make sure that everybody else is expecting the same perfection of themselves, accountability to a certain degree. So it's gonna make them confrontational. If you look at A-Rod when he was with the Green Bay Packers, how many times did Aaron Rodgers get up off the ground after he gets sacked and yelling at the offensive lineman? Look at the last year he had with that he spent with the Packers, and look at how he was getting on Chris Watson and all those other receivers who was dropping passes early on. So that's not a bad thing. My thing is this, right? When you look at the culture of the New York Jets right now, it's gonna take something that's strong and something that's consistent and something that's stern to pull them up out the gutter. We're talking about taking a team that has not had the best success over the last few years. And they're on the side where you have to deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. You got to deal with the Cincinnati Bengals. You got to deal with the Buffalo Bills. You got to deal with the Baltimore Ravens. You got to deal with possibly the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got to deal with the Chargers. So it's like, look over there. Do you think that they have time for Aaron Rodgers to be holding the receiver hand and saying, hey man, it's gonna be all right? If you run the wrong route, then it's up to me to tell you, hey man, what was you doing on that route? And I'm letting you know what I'm looking at. And see, Garrett Wilson might not be used to that type of player, but that goes to show you. Look at who he had throwing him the ball the last few years. So obviously, yeah, he's not used to that type of quarterback. I'm not quite sure where the kid went to school, but I'm not quite sure if he had a top tier quarterback where he was at in school. But when you're playing for teams like the Green Bay, the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, when you're playing for teams like the Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, when you're playing for teams of that magnitude, they expect perfection out of you because they expect perfection out themselves. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. It's nothing to think. It's nothing to really read too far into. I mean, it's been times, man, where we've been at football practice and two guys haul off fight. It's hot. It's the summertime. Tempers are flaring. Practice might be on one side. The defense might be getting their butts cooked all day and the offense talking noise. Or the offense might be getting their butts kicked all day and the defense talking noise. So it's just that back and forth. And next thing you know, you look up, you see two guys fight. Sometimes the coach breaks it up immediately. Sometimes the coach say, hey man, let them fight. Let them get it off of their chest. Sometimes that comes with the nature of the sport. Football is a very physical sport. Very physical sport, you know what I mean? So that comes with the nature of it, just as much, that's the nature of the sport, the physicality, you know what I mean? So sometimes that leads into fights or leads into, disagreements, you know what I mean? So I don't think that there's anything to, read too deeply into. Another thing too, I've been reading on this here recently. If you guys remember, the season of the Carolina Panthers went to the Super Bowl. They said it was the off season. I don't know if it was the off season or it probably was like training camp leading up into the season. You remember Josh Norman and Cam Newton had a fight, and they was both. And I've seen a video about them talk. Well, Cam Newton was talking about that, and he was just saying like how that brought them closer together. You know what I mean? So if you're a Jets fan, man, I don't think it's nothing to read into. I think that that just comes with the territory, man. You understand that that's what you got to do when you're playing with Aaron Rodgers. That's the same thing as if you're being coached by Bill Belichick, if you're being coached by Nick Saban, if you're being coached by Sean Payton, if you're being coached by Urban Meyer, all these great coaches and quarterbacks or great players, period, they're going to expect perfection. So if they expect that out themselves, they're going to expect that from you guys as well. But I just wanted to kind of briefly touch on that, man. If you did enjoy this video, man, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, man, make sure you subscribe. When you subscribe, click that post notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time one of the best sports media broadcasting analyst channels on YouTube uploads, man. Because if you don't know, now you know. Just like the GOAT Drizzy Drake say, man, I got these videos coming back to back. I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm out this thing. Peace.